So there's a story about two young fish swimming in the water. And then as they're swimming along, there comes an older fish who turns around to them and says, "Morning, boys, how's the water?" And the two young fish nod along. And then after a little while, one of them turns to the other and asks, "What the heck is water?" So this is now a very famous line from a story, a commencement speech that the late author David Foster Wallace gave back in 2015 that, in my opinion, among other things, highlights the importance of self-awareness. Now, research shows that self-awareness is one of the most important traits and skills for the future of work. And let's talk about what self-awareness is. There's a lot being said about it. Self-awareness, first of all, there's internal self-awareness, so that's the ability to understand what is going on in our mind, our thoughts, our internal dialogue, our inner critic, our inner cheerleader, the ability to understand our body sensations, our emotions. It's about the ability to understand what are our passions, to recognize our values, and to also be aware of our behaviors and the way they impact others. External self-awareness is about being aware of how our actions and our behaviors impact others. And as one would expect, both internal and external self-awareness have a very high correlation with improved leadership skills, improved leadership performance, higher job satisfaction, happiness, and engagement. And an adverse opposite correlation with anxiety, stress, and depression. So we want to be more self-aware. The problem is that most people, and most leaders, although they believe they have high levels of self-awareness, in fact, according to research, only about 10 to 15% of them do have so. So let's talk about some myths that are related to self-awareness. The first is that internal self-awareness correlates to external self-awareness. One would think that if I'm more aware of what's going on inside of me, I'd be more aware of what's going on outside of me and how my actions impact others. And that, in fact, is not true. And the second myth, perhaps most surprising, is that experience does not correlate with higher self-awareness. So more experienced leaders, the ones who have risen through the ranks and have more years back in their career, actually are not more self-aware. In fact, they have less self-awareness. And that is because, first of all, the higher a leader grows up in ranks and the more power they have actually less people above them to give them candid feedback. And the second reason is that the higher up in ranks a leader is, the less likely they are to receive candid feedback from the people below them because of fear. As business professor Joseph O'Toole mentions, the higher up the ranks a leader grows, their willingness to listen lessens. Either because there's less people there to give them feedback, or because they think they know more than the people below them. And that's a big risk. So what can leaders do about it? What can we do about it? One would think that a self-reflection after a failure, let's say, in order to learn from that, would be to start asking why. Why did I not achieve my goals? Why did my team not reach their goals? But perhaps a better question would be a what question, which is more focused, is more solution focused, is more future focused. So instead of asking, why did my team fail? Perhaps start asking as a leader, what circumstances could I have created for my team to succeed? And then the second approach would be to cultivate that ability for deep listening. And that is perhaps the hardest thing. But on the other hand, nature has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So perhaps we can put that in practice and listen more as a leader rather than speak.